Okay, greetings. All right, thank you for joining us. Okay, I think this is like an old subject matter, but I'll go into it. Might as well. So, are the aliens a government psyop? Like in general, like some, I guess some. I mean, this comes from a new age perspective. I mean, there's this new ager that's out there that's going after other new agers, and but she's right and they're wrong, and she says all the aliens are all fake and a government psyop. It's like, where'd you get that from? There's no good aliens. There's just the bad ones. And okay, whatever. Maybe if you knew what I was talking about, I'd be like, jeez. I'll be a college professor. Yeah, we have to be sometime in the future when we can actually examine all of this stuff. And that's going to be after Rome falls, or our current Rome falls, and they can start examining all this nonsense that's out there. But I guess some actually believe. I mean, some believe that you want to get your powers in 2 years and become a superhero. And I think that I don't know if those 2 years already passed or how that works exactly. Like the world's going to be a better place in a couple of years and all that. Everything's going to be all right. People actually believe that. Yeah. So, yeah, talk about laziness. But as for the government stuff, I mean, the government's not that smart. It's, it might be, half evil or mostly evil. It's not that bright. Yeah, it's just, and then of course you have some new agers that don't trust the grays, and I mean, I understand why, but then again, the Palladians aren't exactly the best vibe either, because like ultra happy and kind of them, some of them are psychotic, so you have that. So I have these like addictions they can't get themselves out of it. Just keep it general for right now. So I don't know, just there are some crazy things today. It's like whatever. So obviously believe whatever you want to believe. If you want to believe the aliens are a government psyop, you're giving the government a lot of credit. Obviously there are alien beings that work for the government, obviously, but they're all screwed up and whatever. If you want to live in fear, it's there for you to live in fear. More power to you on that one. Another thing is, which I didn't really go into too much of this, kind of, sort of, don't care a lot of times, but it's just because I was looking more at the JFK situation, and then when we have our current situation, like this is like a black ops operation that we're going through with our brain dead president that's in there right now. And the whole thing is like, I mean, I've always looked at it from a CIA, FBI, higher up energy, but I never really looked at it from I didn't put a lot of thought into it. That's been like how long it's been. I just kind of whatever it is, and not worry about it. Who cares? Nothing we can do about it. But if you look at it from a black ops point of view, it's like illegal activities. They do all kinds of stuff. And having a half dead president there and all the corruption that's going on there, it's higher than the CIA. And it's like another group that has no name. You can say it connects to like a Delta Force type of energy or something like that. Of course, I don't think Delta Force is not what you call it that anymore, but either way, it's like a black ops operation. And we have President Brain Dead is getting sick. He's falling apart. So yeah, and then you have these Democratic, that are running right now. Was it RFK Jr.? So just it's a bizarre. It's hard to get a read on it because I mean, you can say it's kind of psychically protected. They don't want us to know what's going on. Some people can tap into it. but it's not for all of us to tap into it. I don't know. Sometimes it's better just to stay out of it. Yeah. Yeah, like Biden was their man and all that. I'm not going to go too deep into this, but I'll go into some of the Black Ops energy, let's put it that way. And see what I can pick up there. Not just on a presidential level, but on any level for that matter. Worldwide, other countries and all that. Just black operations from, there's our government is involved with it, but it's like a no-name government, you could say. Like the whole thing in Russia and all that. Of course, eventually Russia will fall or something. Well, at least Putin will eventually. I think he knows that already. Well, another thing about Biden, I mean, this is pretty obvious, though. I mean, even like with Putin, talk about he has body doubles. Same thing with Biden. He has that body doubles. They're not going to say it in the news, but you got to expect there's going to be something like that out there. So that's like a Black Ops operation, technically. You're not going to have any news articles talk about that. I don't think you would. I wouldn't think so. There's no evidence of it, but I mean, obviously people talk about clones and all that, but if you just want to just think of it as just a decoy or whatever however you want to look at it, somebody in a mask or something like that, it can't be. I mean, you're a lookalike. Let's put it that way. Keep it from the sci-fi side of things. Have it a little bit more grounded, especially when we went overseas and even in the U.S. he's kind of changed his looks and all that. So anyway, and the other thing, the Rat and the Dragon channeling. So that's actually a book. I haven't read it. I just found it before I went online. But it's like you look at, you want to learn about other star systems and all that. I just haven't thought about talking about it in this way. You look like Orion in fiction, Andromeda in fiction, other star systems. Tau Ceti is a pretty popular one. I remember Tau Ceti coming up in Barbarella, and that was a movie. That's like one of the first times. I mean, of course, I've heard it before, but it's just not something I've really thought about too much. But if you're looking for other star systems, just look at old 1950s or old science fiction stuff, and it kind of gives you, some of those are real memories. Some of it might not be, but it's something to look into. And the Rat and the Dragon showed up. I figure, it taps into the dragon, just a little bit different there. So anyway, just something different. I thought about it before. I just finally started to bring it up. And that, I'm not. I thought it was set up. I guess not. Do the quick version of this. And I was too busy looking at the Rat and the Dragon stuff. All right, the Armatonic Comic Pro sessions I've scheduled. We have a shop here. I'll just leave it at that. And what's this? A cat in space. This is the Rat and Dragon. I don't know what he's doing right there, but he's doing something cool. This is the Rat and the Dragon. Yeah, it doesn't look like a whole lot there. I'm not sure what I'm looking at, actually. Yeah, it doesn't look too good there, actually. This is the guy that wrote it. I think there's a little bit more. I didn't go too deeply into this. But you look into fiction, it's another way of digging up your own, or just writing your own fiction for that matter. Okay, maybe not that. But you'd be surprised what you can bring out of your energy field by thinking about things a little bit differently. And there's a lot of the galactics, all this information is out there somewhere, fiction wise, and you can start remembering or just having fun, whatever comes first. Oh, this was different. Um, Hyperon, I don't know what this. Anyway, this is in Tau Ceti. At least that's something that was downloaded from Tau Ceti. You can say. I might have seen this before. It's been a while. Anyway, it's kind of. I think I've seen something like this before. I just haven't tapped into it. There's Barbarella from Tau Ceti. So we have all these different fiction that you can find on it. Well, it's just there's actually quite a bit, but I'm just giving a preview of it. Of course, Andromeda, A for Andromeda, that's different. Of course, you have and you have the dragons, and this is just one of the books that come from that time. I'm not going to go into it too much here. Anyway, and then you have a cat in space. Of course, you have Isaac. I don't know if I can spell his name right. Asimov. Wow. There it is. Isaac Asimov, he has a lot of books. He has a lot of robot stuff like that. Robots, and I think he talks about Andromeda and some of this. But anyway, this is another thing to dive into. Tap into your alien connections, or like I say, create your own, for that matter. So something to think about there. So many people want to get their memories back, and I can remember some things that help you function here. I wouldn't get too crazy out there. So all right, we're going to the alien PSYOP. Obviously, the government energy, they're I don't think they know what they're doing yet. But then again, that's also black operation, of course. So we can tap in, do different energy connections there. So black ops with the aliens. We'll go where we can on that one. It should be all right. I guess we'll find out in Astral afterwards. But the aliens are real. There are good ones. There's bad ones. There's some. I guess some New Agers are just so out there. It's funny to watch New Agers fight among each other. It's just. Anyway, it'd be like a college course. Let's put it that way, without going into any details right now. It's like a joke, but anyway, it's entertaining. So there's like a lot of jealousy there. There's a lot of whatever. So all right, going to we go into the black ops of this whole alien. Just the black ops energy, like what the black ops is doing with the aliens in general. Like, I don't think they can't get a control over the aliens that are here. I mean, because they're screwing around with a lot of stuff, but you can say they're screwing around with the government agencies, something around those lines. So not everybody's ready for all this, so just the way it is. Okay, all right, here we go. What's this? Grace you, the consciousness of the black ops consciousness. Obviously we're not going to go into all details of every But yes, the alien frequencies, obviously, even as we try to tap into it, we're being blocked. But some of the aliens have made themselves home here, and they're not going to show themselves physically. I mean, technically they do, but nobody really notices. Um, but they don't trust your government. So a lot of aliens have made themselves at home here because of your radical government. Yes, they're not exactly the government here is not exactly the smartest. It's just very controlling over its society. And there are two different societies here. There's your public society, and there's the hidden society, underground bases, and things like that. Those populations are not as big as you might think. They're large, but not as big as some get too much credit to it. We ever know about the underground bases, and not yet. No, yes, the U.S. would have to fall for that to happen, and it's not time for that. So there might be some glimpses here and there, but nothing. Yeah, it's not anything needed to know technically. It's just people living underground. And sometimes there are places where there are actual aliens interacting with people. But is it as exciting as it sounds? Not really. No, because that society is very much controlled. And it is here. No, they're going to show themselves. No, it's all going to be hearsay. Yes, it's like you can't get the proof there. No, unless you have some kind of crazy government clearance, or it doesn't really matter. Some things are just best left alone. But a lot of alien groups, like the tall whites who've come to Earth, just they never really trust this human race either. Of course, they know how radical humans are, and they do have a lot of their DNA connected to humans here, also. But there are a lot of alien beings, obviously. Just keep an eye on your government. Yeah, they can't interfere too much, but the alien beings here they have a good idea of what your government is up to. They can see into the future of it, of what they're planning, and the government's kind of like mice. Kind of like the alien beings here can predict what the government's going to do. Even comes to them. It's like we know what you're doing, and they can't always block everything out, even if they do have extraterrestrial help. It's because if they're doing things too malicious, the answer is they can see it very easily. Now, why are the aliens stopping human trafficking? They can't get too involved. They can help, but they can't get too pulled into human affairs. Now they can stop it, yes, but it's really up for the human race to stop it. And there is a lot going on there to stop it. It's just there's so much to it's like a hidden battle, as some of you know. A touchy subject, and it's just not made publicly for obvious reasons. But it is once again, that's like a whole nother society also that you never hear about. A lot of it's in Mexico because it's just easier to hide a lot of it, but there's obviously worldwide. Ukraine has connections to it, of course. Well, a lot of your Ukrainian groups, a lot of your cartels are like that's their headquarters for human trafficking. One of them at least. Of course, some of those human trafficked children go to Russia, and they go around the world, but one of them is Russia, though. Not that the president can stop it, or any president can stop it, really. But as for the alien energies here for your, yes, of course, there's always going to be some kind of psyop. They're just keeping things quiet for right now. That's all. I mean, there are some alien visitations, sightings, and all of that. That will continue on. Well, just to show the population, there are real aliens here, of course, that are seen in the skies. It's just kind of like giving humans, those that are awakening, can tap into those frequencies overall. But still, yeah, there's still a lot of growth that's going on with human society. Well, yeah, like abductions. Yeah, sometimes abductions are indoctrination. Like some here are being indoctrinated to a certain mindset. Yeah, they connected, but the grays or any being for that matter be programmed to program society. And so society here has not quite figured it out yet. not always that powerful to understand them. So this is Greeks. This is a black ops energy or consciousness. Connected to your president energies, or your government. Yes, your worldwide government frequencies. Obviously, yes. Well, it's a distraction. Presidency that's going on. It's just a distraction. It's just that they don't want to get anything done that's going to help society. Basically, sometimes every once in a while. But it's like a video game, and yes, it's like a very twisted movie. Yes, well, it's a twisted reality. Now they've done this before throughout history, not just in modern history, but also during the time of the ancient Romans. This is nothing new, technically. Ancient times they've done this. Obviously, there's no hidden record. Not going to talk about it anyway. It's not done exactly how it's done right now, but some of you is like you're not being told the right history anyway. So obviously, they're not going to be talking about something like that, like decoys, things like that. There's much more to it than that. But you're dealing with severe black operation currently. You don't have to just tap into it because it is pretty dark. Basically, it's just they want society to go to a certain level. Now, can they be stopped? Yes, but it hasn't quite. It's crossed the line, but not a line far enough to really just kind of end this whole charade. I mean, there is work to take this whole system out, so you don't have this, the control that's going on. But it's done in a way where it's like they're trying to lighten the manipulation, so it's not so heavy. But obviously, the presidency thing doesn't really have any power, really, but so is behind it, as some of you know. And it's just now worldwide. Germany is a strong energy for being manipulated. Things have not changed there, technically. I mean, yes and no. But Germany still has a higher power there. More than London, actually, more than definitely. The British have a stronghold, yes, but Germans, you can say, have a stronger one, but they don't advertise it. Well, because the Germans run a lot of Britain, as some of you know. So it's not necessarily Israel. No, the Israel does have a lot of power, of course, but not as much. It's really Germany really has not exactly more power than it just the way it operates. The influence Germany is just more vicious. It's always run Britain in secret through your secret societies, groups, and so on. So obviously not going to advertise it. France, it kind of runs France. France kind of runs itself technically. It's kind of it's that's kind of another distraction also. If they want something stupid to happen, just get some cops to make some dumb decision, and now everybody's rioting. It's just another distraction. Now, why is a distraction? For various, yeah. So there's, the right hand's, the right hand is doing something while the left hand is, in the shadows. So, and not that you would ever see what the left hand's doing anyway, but you just know something's up. Same thing with the cocaine fires that are going on, and so on. He's like, you might not be able to know what's going on, but you know something's going on. So we'll just leave you with that. Greeks are the dragons from space, more like in the higher astral plane. Some of you have been to these places. Yes, cats in space. Yes, giant ones, things of that type. Dragon energies. I mean, no one's perfect, but there's a whole other society out there. But basically, beings that, yes, many beings live on the planets, but also are beings that live literally in space itself. But you have to get into a certain level of astral to see it. Like, space itself has a whole other society there. You can say, yeah, it's a bunch of animal beings. It's a lot of strange beings there. It's something you would see in psychedelics, basically. And you probably won't believe what you see either, but like I say, you have worlds, but on a physical plane. But space itself, it's like you have to tune your energy to a certain level to see gods and other, just it's all these different type of strange anomalies. It doesn't always have to make sense either. But they're not going through what you're going through. Have to get up every day, pay bills, get in a car, drive around. They find that all fascinating, but it's not stuff they're all that interested in either. But some of you can tap into, but you've all been involved with, you know, the astral realms, you can say. But it's like kind of like the space realms, you can say. I guess you can say it's the same thing, but it's like when you look up in the stars, like, is there a lot of weird beings just floating around in space and doing who knows what? Yes. No, are there. Just, yeah, there's a lot of weird energies there. Like I said, they don't have to make any sense. It doesn't matter. They just find, they really would like to move the planets around a lot just because for their own entertainment, but obviously they can't do it physically. But astrally, they do it all the time. Like, your planet's been moved so many times they can't even keep track of it. Of course, when you look at the stars, it's all the same. But in other dimensions, your planets have moved so many times. It's almost not actually like basketball, but it's kind of like that. It's not what you're used to thinking on a physical level. Remember, this is a higher dimensional level, and it's just insane. And some of you can remember those places. It's a lot to take in. It's kind of like the Catcher Cat reality, but it's like Alice in Wonderland, but a trillion times more bizarre. But yeah, they see planets, but they don't really think of it. Like, yeah, you can have a little planet on a table or anyway, as a trinket. It's just an item. Does it mean so? Of course it means something, but it's very insignificant compared to what the other these higher dimensional beings are doing. Like I say, you've all been there. Now, like I say, do you have good memories of it? Is another story. It's not fair there either. It can be worse than here in the physical realm. And sometimes you're like dying. I can't wait to have a job and go to work and not deal with the astral plane anymore. I'll just go to work at the dollar store, and be happy with my TV dinner. It's like going on an astral plane where you're dealing with so many psychotic beings. Now, not all of you have to deal with that, but there's a lot of it there. So it's like there's different levels to astral realms, and we'll just give you a slight glimpse of it.